You know how hard realtors work? Of course you do. You are one. Well, that's not my fault. Is that what you say about title and appraisal and inspection? You can't go on vacation without a call, and you love it. Angel, wonderful realtor. Why I'm giving you what I think we should sell this house for? Because I'm not an appraiser. I don't know that you've ever said that. You should know the date they bought it. What kind of realtor are you if you don't know this? I'm having fun with you. Why? Because the realtor went out of their way and said, oh, there's just nothing I can do to help you on the tax. I don't know about taxes. And said, hey, now listen, there's a pool in the back. I see that you got your kids with you. So I just want to let you know, I'm not a lifeguard. That will then get you 100 new clients. A really tall t-ball player. I mean, it's obvious that that is the coach. You are the most generous group of professionals I've ever met. JJ, the CPA is here. Realtors, I've never said what you say all the time. Maybe not you personally, but how many of you have heard what I'm getting ready to tell you? And that is this. A realtor saying, I'm not a CPA. A realtor saying, I am not a tax expert. And I understand that that makes sense to make sure everybody's aware that taxes are tough and they're kind of, how do we make all this stuff work? And you want to make sure everybody knows that you're not a CPA. But here's the deal. You are hurting yourself, and maybe you don't believe me, and that's fine, and you're going to lose deals over it. Thanks for tuning in. But here's the thing. I personally have unfortunately, inadvertently, pulled from realtors, even though I love you. My wife's a realtor, my sister's a realtor, my bonus daughter's a realtor, most of our clients are realtors. I love realtors. But I have inadvertently, innocently, but I couldn't help it. There was no way around it. Pulled clients from you easily, like taking candy from a baby, and sent my client to a realtor that didn't say, well, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax expert. And I get it. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm getting defensive here. I don't even know why I'm listening to you, JJ. Who do you think you are? But here's the deal. What are you, though? Okay? Because now I'm coming with all respect. Hopefully you've seen it from the beginning. What are you? Yes, you're a business owner. I've been trying to say that. You're a professional. You know that. And you say, yes, I am a professional. How hard do you work, though? I bet it's hard. How much respect do you get from other professionals? How much respect do you get from just the public at large? I hate to say it, because you're bringing lives, joy. You are changing people's lives. You're bringing dreams true and helping people with the biggest purchase of their lives, the biggest asset. But you don't get respected. And this is in one way that I want to help you regain respect by not saying this, because it's losing you respect. It's saying, I'm not a CPA. Now, I get it. You're probably still listening going, why the heck are you still talking about this? But I'll have a little fun with you. So I travel around the country talking to CPAs, tax professionals, as well as realtors, small business owners. But when I'm talking to realtors, I say it like this. When you are showing a client a house, when you go in, do you let them know the following? Do you say, hey, now listen, we're going to go through this house, but see, listen, but I'm not an appraiser. I don't have the licensing. I don't have the certifications. I am not an appraiser. So I'm going to give you a dollar amount, but I really shouldn't give you this dollar amount. I don't even know why I'm giving you what I think we should sell this house for, because I'm not an appraiser. I don't know that you've ever said that. You may have had to say to somebody, hey, we need to bring in an appraiser. But I'm assuming you have never gone out of your way to make it crystal clear to your client that you don't really know what you're talking about when it comes to how you plan to value and sell and what price point you're putting on that house, because you're not an appraiser. And if maybe you are doing that, I bet you don't find many appreciating that, and you probably don't keep that client. How many times, though, have you walked in and you said, now listen, here's the thing, though. I don't really know if you buy this house, if they really have title to it. Like, that you might be buying this from somebody that doesn't actually own it. There might be a lien on this. Like, I don't even know why we're looking at this house, because I don't do title work. We're going to have to get you to title. Okay. So just letting you know, don't get your hopes up that if you love this house, there could be something we find in title, because I don't do title. I bet you've never said that. Have you ever said to your client, now listen, don't get your hopes and dreams up. Listen, I don't know anything about lending, mortgages. Don't ask me about interest rates. I'm not a banker. I don't have a finance degree. I don't know anything. Don't ask me. Don't even ask me about loan payments. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I bet you haven't done that. Have you walked into an house, and let's have a little more fun, and said, hey, now listen, there's a pool in the back. I see that you got your kids with you. So I just want to let you know, I'm not a lifeguard. I don't have any medical training. I don't know CPR. So keep an eye on your kids because I'm not a lifeguard, okay? So when we go into this house and if somebody falls in the pool, I'm not going to be able to help you, okay? Not going to be able to help you. Or do you go, hey, now listen, I just want to let you know, I don't know. You're moving in, you're walking through a house. You're doing a walkthrough, right? And you say, hey, now listen, real quick, I'm not a firefighter. So if there's a fire that breaks out, like I don't even know where the fire extinguisher is. We are in grave danger and we probably don't even know it because if this thing goes up in flames, I'm not a firefighter. I'm not going to know what to do, okay? So just be aware that if there's a fire and I don't know where the fire extinguisher is, that we're all in danger. So why is it that I hear 1,000 times a year, overhear it, my wife's who's a realtor, my sister's a realtor, my bonus daughter's a realtor, and how many times they hear it? If you go to a seminar, and how many times you hear it? Well, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a CPA. You know, it's similar to you then. Why do I, when I call you, do I say, hey, now listen, I'm not a realtor. Hey, now listen, I'm not a doctor. It's kind of like if you have seen a T-ball team, right? So I'm just using T-ball because I was a T-ball coach, right? And everybody's got their uniforms, right? Or at least the T-shirts, and it might have their name on the back. You know, it's their last name, or maybe in their first name. They got their number, right? And then you usually see what? You see the T-ball coach. So if you're in T-ball, in case you're not familiar with what that is, and I'm having fun, of course you do, but T-ball is usually 3, 4, 5-year-olds, right? Okay. And most 3, 4, 5-year-olds, you know, they're 3 feet, maybe 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall. I don't know. And then you have a coach. Typically, this coach is going to be an adult. Of course, I'm having fun with you. But what does it typically say on the back of the T-ball coach's quote unquote jersey or T-shirt? It says coach. Why? I mean, is anybody standing around going, whoa, 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 that's a really tall T-ball player? I mean, it's obvious that that is the coach. Now, I get it. Mine said coach on the back when I was a T-ball coach. But all I'm saying is, you don't need to keep telling everybody that the coach doesn't walk on the field and go, hey, everybody, listen, I'm not a player. FYI, I'm not a player on this T-ball team. So stop stating the obvious because you're hurting yourself. And even if you think, well, no, I need to have a disclosure. Congratulations in having a disclosure. But here's what your customer's hearing. And how do I know this? Because I have clients that contact me, or I'm now having realtors that they're unfortunately seeing that their friends that are realtors are losing their customer. And then they're coming to me, and then I'm going, well, who's your realtor? Oh, you don't want to work with them? Well, here's another realtor. And why? Because the realtor went out of their way to say, oh, there's just nothing I can do to help you on the tax. I don't know about taxes. I don't know anything about tax. Oh my gosh, I'm not a CPA. I'm not a CPA. But you talk about title stuff, or you don't talk about title stuff. You don't warn people about title. You don't warn people about mortgage. You don't warn people about fire extinguishers or drowning. You don't talk about the appraiser. You walk into a house and you are in charge. You're in charge with that client. You need to take that down, clean that up, take that out, get rid of that vase. You need to mow back there, get rid of these flowers, move that. Okay, I'm looking around. What do you think it's worth? I've done the comps. I'm doing the comps, and I'm coming up with this sales price. Boom. That is powerful position. And it's because you deserve it if you've made it to here. And you know you deserve it. But you're taking on a lot of risk, aren't you, right? Because what you're coming up with the sales price, now if they don't like it, they just don't hire you per se. But you're coming up with the sales price. What if you're off and they don't know? What if you go, you know what, I think 850. Did all the comps, you did all that. But what if you're off? What if it was really could have been sold for 1.2? Okay? You're like, well, but I did the comps, I did that. Yeah, because you're a professional, right? So you now remove confidence from your client when you constantly say, I'm not a CPA. Why are you saying that? Just don't say it. It's an obvious, you're not there to do their taxes. Okay? You're not going to get sued because you didn't have them sign any paperwork saying you're doing their taxes the same as they didn't sign any paperwork saying that you're the appraiser, or you're there doing their mortgage, or you're doing their title work, or you're even doing the inspection. And here's the deal. What you want to know is some basics about taxes. And I know that you do, and you think, well, but I'm not a tax advisor. Then great, do this. Stop telling people, but then do this. I'm so glad you made it to here. That's why I love you. And I hope you subscribed. You need to say these magical words. And you know why? I'm going to tell you in a minute. This is why you're getting the reward, because you kept listening. You say, I know that there's some tax circumstances. I know there might be some tax benefits here. I'm aware of some tax benefits. I heard, my client has had some tax benefits. They may apply to you. Do you notice how you used a lot of words that's may and heard and okay? But you ready for the magic that will then get you 100 new clients almost guaranteed? As you say, hey, I'm aware of some tax benefits. Would you mind if I reached out to your tax professional? Don't say CPA, because there's a lot of tax professionals that are not CPAs. Okay? It's another reason you shouldn't go around saying I'm not a CPA, because you're also disrespecting tax professionals that aren't a CPA. You're disrespecting enrolled agents, whether you know it or not. So stop saying CPA. Just stop saying it in any way, shape, or form. You want to talk to their tax professional. Why? Because you want 100 more clients. Because I'm going to tell you, in 33 years, and now unless this realtor is a client of mine, you know how many realtors have called me in 33 years? I want you to think of the thousands of people I've worked with over the years, and every single one of them by now has bought and sold a house at least once, if not twice, if not 3 times. So I've probably had 25,000 real estate transactions with my clients over 33 years, let's say, right? That might include their parents, their kids, their neighbors, their friends, right? 2 realtors have called me in 33 years just to say, hey, I wanted to introduce you. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm working with your client, Pat and Sandy. And I know that there might be some things that are going to affect their taxes. So I wanted to share some information with you. Do you have a minute? Maybe come by. Could I have coffee? Or can I send you an email? But get an interaction going and to say, so here's what we know. And you know what you can tell them? So I've got a number of videos, but I'm going to just pull this out. You know what you can tell them? And you're not being a CPA at all, but you can tell them what you know that your client bought the property for. I mean, it's on the county assessor's office. It's public record. But hey, they bought it for this. You should know the date they bought it. What kind of realtor are you if you don't know this? I'm having fun with you. You're going to know what the closing costs are when they bought this house, because you should be looking at their settlement statement. You're going to ask them, hey, what were your improvements? I'm sure you already asked them when you tried to come up with the value of the house to then sell it. What kind of improvements did you, how much? An estimate. Hey, estimated, right, estimated improvements. You know what you're planning to sell it for, okay? Depending on where you're on the process, I bet title probably has some kind of a good faith, an idea, an estimate of selling costs or closing costs. You at some point may even know, hey, you know what, yeah, you're gonna have to do some repairs here. You know all these numbers. You know all these numbers. You could chicken scratch it out on a little piece of paper that you got as a back of receipt, some garbage, and write it, take a picture, send it, whatever, right? But look how valuable this information is to me as a tax professional. And you're going to blow that tax professional's mind. And if you don't, then you're dealing with a real idiot, okay? They should stop doing taxes, because they should have their mind blown in the greatest way. And they're going to say, who are you, heavenly angel, wonderful realtor that is from heaven, that you've given me this easy info? Or even if you don't know what to give them, say, is there anything I can help you get? Or is there any questions I can answer for you? Or What can I do to help it get in front of that tax professional? Why? They're going to send 100 clients to you. Why? No, realtors are calling tax professionals. It is untapped resource. You don't need to be their client. You don't need to send them business. They have too much business. Don't say, oh, I got somebody I want to send you. We have too much business. We don't care if you send us business or not. You know what we care about is when our client says, hey, I'm looking to sell. Like, hey, why don't you give Amanda a call? Why don't you give Brianna a call? Why don't you give Jennifer a call? Why don't you give Brooke a call? Why don't you give Kaylee a call, or Brittany, or Carly, or on and on and on and on. Okay? Jessica, Michelle, Kelly, right? Why? Because me as a tax professional is like, oh, I want you to go to that person that I know, because I know they're going to do a good job. They're not going to mess things up. They're going to let me know what's going on. Because guess what? You know what happens 99% of the time? Because if I ain't cussing you while the sale's happening, I'm cussing you after. And I'm probably going to hurt you getting repeat business. Not because I'm a jerk and I'm a person that's trying to get out from you. But you know what you're going to cause me? I'm not going to now know that information I showed you. And I get it. You're like, well, that's not my fault. Is that what you say about title and appraisal and inspection? You say, well, it's not my fault. Okay, I'm just telling you all the things I hear and get pulled to set aside. Okay, because all I'm trying to do is help you. Okay. I find it out during tax season. And you know what I find out during tax season? Oh, there's a gain. And then guess what else? Now that gain's taxable. And you may go, well, it's not my problem. I don't think you think that way. So stop thinking it if that's what you're thinking. Because you know what I'm doing? 100%. I'm going to like, who was your realtor? By the way, I say it right. Who was your realtor? Because I'm going to make sure no one ever goes to that realtor again, at least from my client list. And I'm going to tell that client, listen, next time you sell, you call me first. Let me get you with one of my realtors, because they did not get with me, or they didn't tell you to get with me. Now there's a tax due. I got to deliver bad news. You now have to come up with 50 grand. You didn't know it. That 50 grand, you now put it into the next house. You don't have it. Then you sold and you bought. Now you've created a lot of problems. And guess what? You didn't mean to do that at all. That was not your intention. You know how hard realtors work? Of course you do. You are one. And here's what it is. Stop saying you're not a tax professional. It's an obvious. You're not a doctor either, okay? Stop saying, well, you need to call your tax professional. No. Send the email, make the call, leave the message, send it. Hey, just want to introduce myself. If you're like, oh, I don't want to do any of that, then call at least. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm working with your client. Let me know if I can help. Let me know if I can pull some information together. They may say, oh, great. Who's doing the mortgage on it? Oh, now I guarantee I'm still going to hear pushback, because I hear it after the seminars I give and all these excuses. But my whole thing is, but do you do that with title work? Do you do that with inspections? Do you do that with appraisals? Do you do it with repairs? Do you do it with utilities? Do you say, not my fault? No, you don't. You are the most generous group of professionals I've ever met. You put your customer first 24/7. You can't go on vacation without a call. And you love it. And you're helping people. So what am I trying to do? Help you. Close deals, get more deals, get referrals. That's real simple. Simple phone call. Provide some info. Listen, I got a Realtor podcast. I got a Realtor set of videos. I've got seminars with more of this. Help you, help that. Why? Because I love Realtors. That's why. We specialize in it. Okay? My son's joined the practice, all that good stuff. Here's the deal. My wife's a Realtor. I already told you that now. That's the third time. My sister's a Realtor. I've already told you that 3 times. What's a bonus daughter? Just that. I'm having these discussions, and you know how much business they've picked up? Because their clients, okay, typically aren't clients of mine. And they come to me and they say, well, hey, I got a tax question. You know what the first thing I say is, well, hey, did you reach out to your client's tax professional? You know how much business they've received from other tax professionals? Because tax professionals don't ever have realtors call them. And that means we got no one to refer to but you that calls us. And oh my gosh, if you brought even a donut or a thank you note or a smiley face, or is there anything I can do to help you? Or let me just get you in contact with title, or let me do something. I don't know anything. But I'm going to come all the way back. Feel comfortable by not telling people the obvious, that you're not a doctor, you're not a firefighter, you're not a lifeguard, and stop telling people I'm not a CPA. First of all, it's disrespectful to a lot of people when you say that, honestly. Because there's more non-CPA tax professionals than there are CPA tax professionals, okay? So just stop saying CPA, okay? You're hurting yourself in so many ways. Why am I doing all this? Because I love you. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'd love it if you'd subscribe. I guarantee no one even made it to here. If you did, I extra love you. But I want you to remember this right now. You ready? Here's the best part of the whole video. Don't you ever forget you've never met a realtor quite like you, and you've never, and I'm going to say it, met a CPA quite like me. You have a great one. Let's go.